So next, I'd like to present Ms. Jasmine Hall. She's going to be talking about mindfulness for resilience. Jasmine Hall is a millennial public health leader, epidemiologist, and trauma-informed yoga teacher based in her hometown of Flint, Michigan. Jasmine studied neuroscience and psychology at Central Michigan University, where she was a leader, scholar, and servant. In 2016, Jasmine moved to Boston to serve as an AmeriCorps VISTA in the Office of School Community Partnerships at Boston Public Health Schools while applying to the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. During her time at Harvard, Jasmine took on a research assistant position in the Department of Epidemiology, as well as leadership roles such as an Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Fellow of the Harvard Graduate Student Leadership Institute, and the president of the Black Student Health Organization, all opportunities that would help her be more well-rounded and effective upon returning home to Flint. In 2019, Jasmine completed her Master of Science in Neuro Psychiatric Epidemiology with additional concentrations in public health leadership and population mental health. She earned the Student Recognition Award for her academic and leadership efforts at the Public Health School, as well as the inaugural Titus and Venus Legacy Award for redefining what it means to be Black on Harvard's campus. Now, Jasmine has moved home to Michigan to serve her community through public health research, wellness programming, and advocacy. Jasmine spent 3 years serving the MSU Division of Public Health in Flint and is now doing racial disparities epidemiology with MD-HHS. Outside of her official role as a researcher, she serves as a mentor for the Flint Public Health Youth Academy and the Flint NCAACP's Health and Environmental Justice Committee Chair, and an EJ GRIEP with Black Millennials for Flint. In September 2021, she received a Young, Gifted, and Green 40 Under 40 Award for leadership and excellence in environmental justice. In November 2021, after practicing yoga for 10 years, Jasmine enrolled in yoga teacher training and graduated as a Vinyasa-style yoga instructor in November 2021. In December of 2021, she began providing free yoga online through YouTube and Zoom. Jasmine understands the importance of taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. In addition to her deep personal and spiritual practice, she is the founder of We Are Health and Well, a pop-up yoga and wellness studio based in Flint, Michigan. Jasmine is passionate about mental health, racial and social justice, and collective healing. When Jasmine is not working, you can find her swimming, traveling, spending time with loved ones, curled up with a good book, or on the mat. She looks forward to practicing yoga and mindfulness with you in person or online anytime at Yoga with Jasmine Hall. Wonderful. And now I'm going to present to you Jasmine Hall. Take it away.
Thank you, Elena. So I want to start off with a question. Would we have a healthier community with less violence if each person learned to love our neighbors as ourselves? If we truly, truly loved ourselves, will we see less violence in our community? When we go inward, when we get to know ourselves, we can authentically extend that compassion to others. So as she said, I'm Jasmine Hall. I was born and raised here in Flint, Michigan. I graduated from the Classical Academy in 2012, now Flint Southwestern Academy, or Flint Southwestern Classical Academy. As she said, I moved away to go to school at Central Michigan. I had an opportunity to go to Asia for a semester. I attended public health school at Harvard, and then I moved home to Flint in 2019 to continue to serve and learn and build on what many of you listening have already been doing to improve our community. So today I'm bringing in my lived experience. I'm bringing in my training as a public health scientist, specifically a neuro psych epidemiologist, and I'm bringing in my yoga instructor training. I'm also bringing in my spiritual upbringing. So I was kind of raised in the Black church. So I'm bringing that in as well. Excuse me, get down. I just want to say I'm really grateful and honored to be sharing space with you today. And I'm really also incredibly proud of what you are doing with Healthy Black Elders, and just the significance, the access that you're providing to so many of our loved ones here in Flint and Detroit. I can't thank you all enough. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. So today is the 21st, so just this week, we celebrated Juneteenth. So happy Juneteenth, everyone. And we reflected on, how far we've come as Black people. What has life looked like? What has resistance looked like? What has healing looked like over the years? We kind of looked at, the history. We looked at where we are in the present, and we looked forward. We looked at what happens next. What kind of community do we want to see in 5 years, in 10 years, in 25 years? What do we want to leave to future generations? So this year, Juneteenth felt both like a personal and like a community reflection and grounding and kind of putting things into perspective. And also things that we face in the present into perspective, like community violence. So today we've heard a lot about the role of community violence and its impact on our whole community and particularly seniors. And the topic of resilience in seniors is consequently highly important. So we've had so many wonderful community leaders, Kenyatta, Ms. Ella Green, Dexter Clark, sharing information about how we use policy, how we use community engagement, how we use research as tools for resilience. So I'm going to add to that. I'm going to expand that one of those tools in your toolkit and talk about mindfulness and yoga. And I really want to focus, on the individual, on the self-care level. So first of all, what is mindfulness? How can it help me? So mindfulness is really focusing your attention on the present moment. One of the easiest ways to practice mindfulness is to by, taking a moment and just focus on your breath. Because when you're focusing on your breath, you're doing one thing, you're just doing that. And you might even find that you practice mindfulness in your everyday life. So if you ever, again, just sit and focus on your breathing, that's mindfulness. You can practice mindfulness when you're washing your hands, just taking a moment and just only focusing on washing your hands, not, I got to get back to this food on the stove, or I got to get back to this or that, just focusing on that present moment. If you follow any religious or spiritual practices, I mentioned I'm a Christian, you might be used to meditating on the word or, practicing mindfulness in that way. Other ways it might look like just sitting in a comfortable seat, closing your eyes and focusing on one of your senses. So you might, focus on hearing and just notice, what sounds are around me. Maybe hearing a fan or air conditioning and only focusing on that. And mindfulness practices can be beneficial for people at any age. And many of you know this, I'm probably preaching to the choir. But however, for older adults who engage in mindfulness techniques like meditation, like gratitude practices, it's been shown to improve general mood, cognitive functioning. So that might include memory, things like that. It helps to reduce some of the difficult emotional states. So loneliness, depression, anxiety, stress, like some of the things that we all face, but we know people face that different, in different ways. So mindfulness is one of many tools that can help with that. Oftentimes people are practicing together. So that's just one practice. And then I want to focus on yoga. So what is yoga and how can it help me? So yoga truly is the journey of the self to the self through the self. So some people do focus on the physical practice of yoga because it can be a very low impact way to incorporate movement into everyday life. But you can do yoga on a yoga mat, of course. But if we're being real, not everybody can get down there or get back up off that yoga mat. So you can also, that right there might turn you away. So you can also, did you know you can also practice sitting in a chair? You can practice sitting on the bed, whether you just, getting up in the morning, doing 5 minutes of yoga, or right before you go to sleep. But in addition to that physical practice, it's also a spiritual or mental practice too. And it helps us to be compassionate with ourselves. Because with yoga, everybody is different. So one day my body might be able to do a downward dog. The next day, I need to sit in an easy seat and kind of take it easy. And it allows you to have that trust and that compassion for yourself. Where am I today? How am I showing up? Do I need to do a chair yoga practice? Do I want to do, one of those high intensity practices, or do I want to do restorative yoga and really hold certain poses for a long time and just kind of rest, use pillows, things like that. So there's different ways of doing yoga. But again, it teaches you even off the mat to be compassionate with yourself, to listen to where you are, what you need. And then when you give that to yourself, you can give that to others at the community level. So again, tying this back to that community violence piece, I believe that if more people in our community practice mindfulness, practice yoga, we'd have the better ability to control ourselves. We would see people being able to love one another even more. We see it already, but we would I think see an improvement in that. And that may be one of many strategies that can help us reduce gun violence. At a spiritual level, so there's spiritual benefits, there's physical, there's mental, and I'll kind of highlight a couple of each one. Because I know with yoga, people are sometimes like, nah, I don't know, I don't know about that. So let me let you know what I learned about yoga, because everybody's interpretation is different. So the word yoga can be translated from Sanskrit, which is over in India. It can be translated as yoke or union. And so when you read up in books like Light on Yoga, that's one of the books I read up in my training, but it's a book that anybody can read. Light on Yoga, it teaches you that yoga practice is about the true union of our will, so what we want to do with our lives, with the will of a higher power. Some people say the universe, some people say God, some people say, your inner being or things like that. But whatever you kind of take that to mean, it's that union of, am I getting on track? Because, we live from our first breath until the day we pass. And we are, put on this earth with an assignment. And at some point, hopefully we get connected to what am I on this earth to do? What are the many things I'm on this earth to do? And how do you make that connection? So yoga on a spiritual level helps you to make that connection, because you develop that self-compassion, you develop that inner learning, you get to know yourself, you become accepting of yourself, you love yourself, and you can then take that and carry it out. And also kind of related to spiritual health is the physical and mental health. It allows you to be fit and well to be able to carry out what is my purpose? How can I carry this out? And that's not to say that everybody's body is going to look the same or one way or the other, because of course your yoga practice is your yoga practice, but it allows you to be, to have that ability to continue to do the work, to be healthy, to carry out your purpose. So kind of on a spiritual level, hey, yoga is something else, and it's not a religion, and it's not competing with religion. And actually one of the pieces in it, because I was looking, one of the pieces that I found in yoga was that it encouraged you, to figure out, what do I believe in and how do I continue to do that? So if you're a Christian, are you spending time, reading your word? If you're a Muslim, are you spending time reading your Quran? Are you spending time serving the community, doing what it is that you say you believe, what your values are? Are you in alignment? So on a spiritual level, I found that there was no conflict. It really complemented what I learned from my upbringing. On a physical health level, I don't even have to tell y'all with yoga, because people always think of yoga as an exercise, like a low impact exercise. Or sometimes, depending on what type of yoga, you might sweat, but there's different types. But it helps in general to get movement every day, circulation purposes, general fitness. But it also could help improve sleep. It could help improve flexibility, balance. I know nobody wants to fall. We want to make sure we're, keeping our muscles, healthy. So as a physical health kind of thing, there's plenty of benefits when it comes to mental health and emotional health. So similar to mindfulness, a yoga practice has plenty of mental health benefits. It may reduce the severity of some of the symptoms of things like depression and anxiety. As always, you want to incorporate, self-care with a therapist or a mental health professional just to have the best outcomes possible. But yoga is one tool to help with mental health as well. So I know that's a lot. So you might be thinking, okay, as a senior, what can I do? Like, I'm hearing all this information about community violence. I'm hearing all this information about community violence. I'm learning about resilience. I'm learning about yoga. And, what am I doing? I still have energy. I still have talent. So how do I fit into, the solution of community violence? And I don't have all the answers, but I would say, keep doing what you're doing, taking action, continuing to be healthy, continuing to learn and grow and being an example of loving your neighbor. For my generation, I'm a millennial. So continuing to be that example for us so that we can pass it on. I know I mentioned that I'm a part of the Flint Public Health Youth Academy. There are mentors of Generation X, that such as Dr. Key, who mentor the mentors, and we mentor the youth. And so continuing to kind of have that intergenerational mentorship and love and leading by example is an excellent way to be part of this solution to some of the community violence, and it benefits all of us. And then as you chat with people and impart wisdom, remind our young people, hey, take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, take care of your emotional health, physical health, spiritual health, like it all counts. And again, it's what you say to the young people, and it's what you do and lead by example. So that will be kind of my takeaway here. And speaking of leading by example, with that in mind, let's take a gentle breath and let's do a short yoga practice, like just a few minutes of easy chair yoga so we can stay in our seats. And I'll go ahead and adjust my camera a little bit. And so by sitting up nice and tall, with your feet flat on the ground, your back slightly away from the back of your chair. So again, nice and tall, lengthening through the spine. You're already practicing yoga. This is easy pose. So we'll breathe in slowly. And then breathe all the way out. Again, breathing in. And out. And you're welcome to close your eyes or soften your gaze if you feel comfortable. And just continue breathing in and out at your own pace. And we'll breathe in. And this time, when you breathe out, just allow your shoulders to settle down a bit more. You can rest your hands on the top of your lap. And just breathe here. Would you mind taking the picture off the screen for us not sharing it? This thank you. So we'll take a moment here and set an intention for this short yoga practice. So again, your feet are flat, about shoulder width distance apart. Hands are resting, finding a comfortable seat. We're just setting an intention for this practice. Maybe you want to be a little more grateful for today. Maybe you want to practice self-compassion. Or maybe you want to lead by example of loving your neighbor. set that intention, and then come back to your breath. You can even bring one hand to your low belly and just feel your breath. You can bring your hand to your heart, taking a moment to just feel your heartbeat. Giving yourself that gift of now, that present moment. And when you're ready, you can bring that hand back down to rest on your leg. On your next inhale, draw your shoulders up. So kind of in a shrug, draw your shoulders up towards your ears. And as you breathe out, just allow your shoulders to settle down and back. One more time, we'll breathe in, reaching those shoulders all the way up. And breathe out, just allowing your shoulders to rest. We'll stay here for a moment. Maybe coming back to that intention. Back to your breath. We'll go into a couple of neck circles. So we'll bring that right ear over to the right slightly, toward that right shoulder. And then we'll lean our head back just a bit, if that's comfortable for you, looking up. Then we'll bring that left ear in the direction of your left shoulder. And then we'll look down, bringing our chin towards our chest. Again, you want to listen to your body. So you don't want to go further. You want to honor where you are today. We'll take it the opposite direction. So we'll bring that left ear toward the left shoulder. Looking up. Right ear toward the right shoulder. And bring it down, chin to chest. We'll come back up to neutral. Might feel like you need to shake it out a little bit. Take any movements that your body is needing right now. And then you can bring your palms back down to rest on your thigh. And we'll go into a couple of seated cat-cows. And Elena, please let me know if I'm over time or how we're doing on time.
You're doing great.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So we'll go into a couple of seated cat-cows, grounding our feet into the earth. We'll breathe in, shine your heart forward, and look up slightly or as far as is comfortable. And then as you breathe out, kind of round through your spine, bringing your chin down towards your chest, allowing your shoulders to draw away from your ears, breathing all the way out. We'll breathe in, heart forward, As you look up and breathe out, rounding through the spine, chin to chest. Couple more times, breathing in as you look up at your own pace, and breathing out as you look down, rounding the spine. If you want to make circles or take any other movements, go ahead and do that. If you need to adjust your seat, scoot back or scoot forward, feel free to do that as well. And then we'll come back up to an easy seat, sitting nice and tall. We'll bring that right hand directly out front, palm is up. And we'll draw that right hand over to the left. You can use that left hand to just kind of reach to the outside of that right arm. So your right arm is reaching over your body toward the left. You're just using that left hand for support. And as you exhale, you can go ahead and release it. Release your arms out to either side. And we'll do the other side. So we'll breathe in, reaching that left hand forward, palm is up. As you breathe out, just reach that left hand slightly over to the right. And then use that right hand to go underneath for support. And you can close your eyes here or soften your gaze. Try to tap into your breath.
Jasmine, you probably have about another minute or so.
Thank you. And we'll exhale to release that down. We'll do a brief twist. So you can bring that left hand over to the right knee. You can put that right hand somewhere on the chair, so maybe on the seat or on the back, depending on if you want to deepen your twist. We'll inhale to untwist. And exhale, you'll twist to the left so that right hand can reach over to the left knee. Make sure you're breathing here. And exhale. The last yoga pose we'll do is cactus arms. So we'll bring our arms out to the side and then bend at the elbows, so 90 degrees. And we'll just linking each movement with the breath, just reach our elbows back and forward, just ever so slightly. Your next exhale, bring your hands together in a prayer pose. I like to close out yoga sessions with a little bit of gratitude. So you can bring your hands down to heart center. I want to take a moment to just acknowledge all that connects us. Some people may say thank you to the universe or higher power or any God that you believe in. Just taking a moment to say thank you for this day, for this life, for this practice. Next, we'll send some gratitude to ourselves, to our bodies. Just saying thank you for carrying us through today, through this practice, through this life so far. Thank you for practicing a little bit of self-care. Maybe telling yourself that you love you. Finally, just want to send some gratitude out to everyone practicing and listening, sharing this space. I want to say thank you for practicing yoga with me today. The light in me sees and honors the light in each one of you. Namaste. And that just means the light in me sees the light in you. So thank you so much. Again, I'm Jasmine Hall. You can find me on Facebook at Jasmine Hall. You can Google yoga with Jasmine Hall, and YouTube videos should pop up. You can just go right on your phone and Google that, or go into the YouTube app. But if you search yoga with Jasmine Hall, something should come up. Or hey, reach out to me on Facebook. Again, thank you so much for this practice. Thank you for having me speak today. I appreciate it.